Let me get this straight. I type a random question into this box, like, why do pigeons walk so weird? And instantly, this so-called AI spits out an answer. That feels suspiciously like magic, or maybe some kind of robot witchcraft. But fear not, it's not sorcery, it's just a mountain of math pretending to be clever. So how exactly does it work? First stop, the internet highway. You hit enter, and your words travel at near light speed through cables, satellites, and a million blinking servers until they crash into what looks like a giant digital stomach, the AI model. Unlike your stomach, it doesn't have acid. What it has is layers upon layers of mathematical cells called neurons. These neurons are not little brain cells floating in goo. They're more like switches in a giant Lego set, billions of them. Each one takes in numbers, does a quick calculation, and passes the result to the next. One neuron on its own is dumber than a brick. But stack billions together, and suddenly, things start to look suspiciously like intelligence. Okay, but how does it know English, or French, or Klingon? Simple. Training. Imagine teaching a kid what a cat is. You show them thousands of pictures. Cat, not a cat. Eventually, their brain wires itself to recognize the fuzzy ears plus whiskers plus smug attitude equals cat. AI works the same way, but instead of 1,000 pictures, it gets fed billions of sentences, articles, books, memes, and maybe even your angry tweets at airlines. This process is called training a neural network, and it's basically torture for computers. They crunch through all that data for weeks or even months, adjusting tiny dials called weights. Each dial decides how strongly one neuron passes its signal to the next. At first, the AI guesses randomly and gets everything wrong. It's like asking a toddler to recite Shakespeare. But over time, with enough corrections, those dials lock into place and suddenly it goes from cat equals potato to cat equals smug fur overlord. So what happens when you type your question? Well, the AI doesn't know the answer the way you do. Instead, it plays the ultimate guessing game. It looks at your words and thinks, based on everything I've ever seen, what's the most likely word that should come next? It spits out probabilities. For example, there's a 72% chance the next word is pizza, 15% chance it's robot, and 1% chance it's banana. Then it picks one and repeats this process again and again and again until you've got a full sentence. To you, it looks like thought. To the AI, it's just rolling mathematical dice extremely fast. But here's the kicker. If it's only guessing, how does it sound so human? That's the trick. Because the AI has seen so much text, the equivalent of humanity's entire library, internet rants, and yes, probably your fanfiction too, the guesses are scarily good. It doesn't understand love or sadness or why pineapple pizza divides families, but it knows that after I'm heartbroken, the internet usually writes eat ice cream or listen to sad songs. Let's make this crystal clear. AI doesn't think, it doesn't feel. It's more like a mirror. It reflects back the patterns it's seen. If humanity writes 1 billion times that the sky is blue, AI learns to repeat it. If humanity writes nonsense, well, AI will happily spit out nonsense too. Garbage in, garbage out. But what about the scary part? When AI seems almost too smart. Like when it writes essays, solves math, or codes a website in seconds. That's where scale comes in. Imagine one ant. Pretty dumb. Now imagine 1 billion ants working together. Suddenly, you've got an unstoppable marching army. AI works the same way. The sheer number of neurons and the massive amount of data they've seen combine to create patterns that look intelligent, even though at the core, it's still just math. Here's another question. If it's just guessing, how does it stay on topic? Why doesn't it answer, how do I bake bread? With, have you considered the mating habits of dolphins? The answer is context windows. AI doesn't just look at one word. It looks at hundreds or even thousands of words rounded at once. That's like trying to finish someone's sentence while remembering the entire conversation from 5 minutes ago. That's why it feels like it's listening, even though it's really just pattern matching. So, is AI actually alive? Not even close. It doesn't have self-awareness, hopes, or a secret plan to date your toaster. It's closer to a giant autocomplete on steroids. But here's the twist. Sometimes being a really good autocomplete is enough to feel magical. And that's the story of AI, a mountain of data, trillions of calculations, billions of tiny math switches flipping in perfect sync. No emotions, no consciousness, just probabilities stacked so well that it feels like intelligence. So next time you ask AI for advice, remember, it's not magic, and it's definitely not witchcraft. It's just math. Really, really good math.